And let's go down to Kokomo.
Day 8. Friday, the 23rd of October. Boston. So, I've managed to complete my first full week and my maiden cruise voyage, Boston to Bermuda and back. And I can safely say that I am absolutely loving it. Yes, I may have acted like a klutzy moron at times. And yes, I've been more lost than some of the ships that lie on the seabed of the Bermuda Triangle too many times to remember. But really and truly, I've pretty much relished every single second. I'm already feeling sad when thinking about my contract being up in 9 months. It's a very different world than anything I've ever experienced before. The crew area is like being backstage at the London Palladium. A multitude of citizens from every inch of the globe, all hurrying around in opposite directions, before heading through the heavy fire screen doors that lead to the front of house, in full costume, in a bid to entertain our audience. The safety aspect of living on this floating hotel could easily seem quite daunting. With the occurrence of a fire on board, our deadliest threat, happening at least once a week. These are mostly small affairs put out rapidly by Alan, chief firefighter from the Philippines, and his excellent team. The vast majority are caused by carelessly discarded cigarettes, so if you ever join me on the Dawn and are a smoker, please be careful. With the average age on the cruise line being in the region of 50-something, 51 this week and 64 the week before, it's not unusual to get fatalities during a crossing. Of the 3 90-plussers on board the week before I joined, only 2 managed to complete the journey without expiring. Quite possibly not a bad way to go though, especially if you made it past 90. Then there are the different lifeboat drills and flotation device demonstrations, along with the disconcerting videos of how many watertight compartments need to flood before we sink. If 5 of the 19 fill with water, down we go. Nice. And don't even get me started on the pirates. But all the information has actually been broadcast and received effectively, and the procedures in place leave you feeling very secure, despite sleeping between 2 closed watertight doors at night. There was a time at the start of the week when we'd sat through back-to-back safety briefings that I turned every corner anticipating imminent danger. It's a bit like watching a Law & Order SVU marathon. You wind up constantly expecting to stumble over a mutilated corpse any second. I was on high alert for a code delta, damage, and ready to spring into action by calling the bridge on 11222 at any moment. Thankfully, my first 7 days at sea have been very low-key, with the exception of the deranged lady who wanted to fling herself into the chilly waters just off Boston Harbour. I'm super impressed by NCL as an employer. They're efficient, forward-thinking, innovative, strict, and yet surprisingly generous with crew comfort and welfare. Heading to join the Norwegian Dawn, I really wasn't sure what to expect, despite doing plenty of research with a lot of help from Google. All I really knew was I'd be sharing my cramped living accommodation with 3 random strangers. My shared cabin is actually way more generously sized than I'd expected. Yes, there's not much room between my head and the deck head when I'm in bed, but as I sleep lying down, it's not so much of a problem. I do see now, though, why they insisted on such a thorough physical before being permitted to come aboard, as you need the skills of a Russian gymnast and the balance of a Chinese acrobat just to be able to get in and out of bed safely each day, something with which I often have a problem, especially in the dark, and I have multiple bruises on my legs as evidence of my daily struggle. Andrea, Casino Cash Desk Romania, who sleeps below me, Daisy, Dice Dealer Philippines, who is on the other top bunk, and Becky, Casino Dealer Zimbabwe, who's below and across from me, are all extra nice, and as quiet as mice creeping around the cabin, trying not to disturb one another. Now that I've finally unpacked, I'm a whiz at locating all my necessary equipment in the darkness, and can shower and dress for work without leaving the cabin in odd shoes and my shirt on back to front anymore. My creeping skills still need some work though, and I have to remember to allow plenty of extra time when heading to start a shift, as with all the silent tiptoeing, it takes twice as long to get myself looking presentable. Obviously, I was sad to leave the awesome Bob LaPlanche, but I got word earlier in the week that he's doing great and has settled into life in the UK well. Other than that, there's not really time to think about much else, and I've hardly given my existence back home a second thought with all the fun I'm having. We have some really exciting destinations ahead of us in the coming weeks, but first, it's back to brilliant Bermuda. All together now. Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take ya. And that's all for day 8. Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in for day 9's antics tomorrow. Same time, same place. Well, not literally, because this ship never stops. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a day. And if you're enjoying it, like and share it too. Thank you!